We're just going to keep going at entitlement reform.
Hear that, Paul Ryan? Paul Ryan, who gives well over $1 trillion in tax breaks to the 1%, and then he comes back and he says, oh my goodness, the deficit is going up.
We have to address entitlements, otherwise we can't really get our handle on our future debt.
Oh my word! And what do? We have to cut Social Security, Medicare, and Medicaid.
I don't know what's going on with the other side, but they have this notion, this weird notion, that for some reason they think that Social Security is an entitlement. Newsflash! It's not an entitlement, it's the insurance that you paid for.
No, we are not going to cut Social Security. We are going to expand Social Security. Before Social Security, nearly half of our nation's seniors were living in poverty. Today, while the number is too high, the senior poverty rate is just 8.8%. Yet, let's not forget this, despite the success of Social Security, 1 out of every 5 senior citizens in our country is trying to make it on less than $13,500 a year. Now you tell me, I want you to think about it. How you survive after you pay your health care costs, you heat your home, transportation, prescription drugs. Tell me how you survive on $13,500 a year. That is a disgrace in the richest country in the history of the world. About half of older Americans, those who are 55 and older, have no retirement savings in the bank. Not acceptable. The average Social Security benefit is less than $1,300 a month.
People paid into both their pensions and their Social Security. They played by the rules. They gave up wage increases. And suddenly what they thought was going to be there is being threatened.
Social Security works because America works. America works because you have worked all of your life. This is not an entitlement. This is insurance that you have earned, and we're gonna make sure that you get it in a manner and shape and form that you've worked for all your life.
The vast majority of the American people understand that a moral society does not give tax breaks to billionaires and then cut back on the needs of struggling seniors or people with disabilities. Our job now is to rally the American people to get our priorities right. And at the top of that list is we are going to make sure that people who reach the end of their lives can retire with dignity. People with disabilities can live with security. That's our mission, and together we are going to succeed. Thank you all very much. We are taking on the entire ruling class of America, the entire oligarchy. You're taking on the pharmaceutical industry because they don't want us to lower the cost of prescription drugs. Taking on the healthcare industry, they don't want us to expand Medicare to cover dental, hearing aids, and eyeglasses. We're taking on the fossil fuel industry, obviously, because they want to continue to make profits by destroying the planet. So this is a huge deal. It is a monumental moment in modern American history. Whether or not we can show the American people that we can address their long-standing problems, improve life, and have the courage to take on incredibly wealthy and powerful forces who are spending millions of dollars against us right now. This really is a pivotal moment in American history. Through the reconciliation bill, what we are doing is taking on virtually every powerful special interest in this country. And I'm talking about the drug companies and the insurance companies, and the fossil fuel industry, and corporate America, and the wealthiest people in this country. Because what we are trying to do, among many other things, is lower the cost of prescription drugs in America. Because the American people are sick and tired, in some instances, of paying 10 times more for the same exact drug sold in Canada or in Europe. And what the pharmaceutical industry has done year after year, pour huge amounts of money into lobbying, into campaign contributions. In fact, they have spent over $4 billion in lobbying and campaign contributions in the last 10 years. So that the result is that they can raise their prices to any level they want. They can double the price of the drug you're getting tomorrow, and that's legal. because they write the laws. And today, 1 out of 5 Americans cannot afford the medicine they need. How outrageous is that? How outrageous is it that thousands of people literally die each year because they don't get the insulin, they don't get the medicine that they desperately need, but they can't afford? Well, we are now taking on the pharmaceutical industry. At the very least, what we want to do is have Medicare negotiate prescription drug prices with the pharmaceutical industry, raise many, many hundreds of billions of dollars, use that money to expand Medicare to cover dental care, eyeglasses, and hearing aids. And the pharmaceutical industry is doing everything they can. They're putting dishonest ads on television. They're lobbying like crazy. But now is the time, finally, for the Congress of the United States to have the courage to stand up to the drug companies, to stand up to the fossil fuel industry, to stand up to the healthcare industry, and represent ordinary Americans and not just the wealthy and the powerful.
Your party leader, Chuck Schumer, says he's moving, quote, full speed ahead with this package. Will he have your vote?
And that's fine. He can. He will not have my vote on 3.5, and Chuck knows that, and we've talked about this.
First, your colleague, Joe Manchin, just explicitly told me repeatedly he will not support your $3.5 trillion reconciliation bill. He wants to see something more in the ballpark of $1.5 trillion. Is that acceptable to you?
No, it is absolutely not acceptable to me. I don't think it's acceptable to the president, to the American people, or to the overwhelming majority of the people in the Democratic caucus. Look, we worked with Senator Manchin to pass the $1.9 trillion American Rescue Plan, which was enormously consequential and helpful to working class families in getting us out of the economic disaster that befell us as a result of COVID. I believe we're going to all sit down and work together and come up with a $3.5 trillion reconciliation bill, which deals with the enormously unmet needs of working families. You know, we've got to lower the cost of prescription drugs for people. We've got to expand Medicare to include dental, hearing aids, and eyeglasses.
You've got some Democratic senators like Bernie Sanders who said we shouldn't negotiate. It's $3.5 trillion or close to it or bust.
A major compromise has already been made. I'm chairman of the Budget Committee. On the Budget Committee are 11 Democrats. 9 of them were prepared to support a $6 trillion bill. I would guess at least 40 Democrats out of 50 understand that we need at least $6 trillion. So there's already been a significant compromise. Elderly people in America can't afford to put dentures into their mouth. They have no teeth in their mouth in some cases, can't afford hearing aids, can't afford eyeglasses. Whether you are a Democrat or a working class Republican or an independent, overwhelming support for this bill. The President of the United States wants it. We had a joint agreement. We're going to go forward together, deal physical infrastructure, deal with the needs of working families. Let's do it. Let's create the jobs. Let's deal with an expansion of Medicare. Let's deal with climate. That's what we've got to do.